Hey guys, so today we're going to build our own program. It's a type of program of wave training. It's really for late intermediate and advanced lifters. If you're a novice lifter or even early intermediate, I don't recommend these programs. And if you don't understand programming, then I also don't recommend this program. This is really for guys that have been training for a while and want to be able to build their own program. It's just something to do, something that I've been doing lately. This is what I'm currently running right now myself. It helps because some keys to it. It allows you to train more often if you have the time, which I do right now because it's summertime. And then it's also very flexible because you're not on a typical upper lower split like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, where you have to work out all those days. Like this is very flexible. You can some weeks work out 3 times and other weeks work out 6 times. So that's one positive about that. It also gets high frequency. You get enough volume. You get to resynthesize your muscles with higher and lower volume sessions with the waves. So it all works out really well. So the type of programming it's going to use methods from concurrent and conjugate type training, and we're going to also wave those every 3 lifts. And each wave phase of 3 lifts is going to have a progressive overload phase built into each one. So basically what that means is concurrent is essentially where you have one workout day of higher volume, and then conjugate or high volume, then the other day is more max effort type works. The conjugate method means that you're rotating your lifts to avoid stalls. So we're incorporating both of those with their principles into this program. So that's where it helps you out. So like I said, this type of program doesn't run on days of the week. You simply lift every day you can, depending on your schedule or how you feel. You're alternating between A and B days. So A would be upper, B would be lower, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter. And you take days off, like I said, according to how you feel, or if you're just busy. It's nice to have a flexible program with a busy life. Like I know I'm very busy. I'm a football coach, so I don't always get to train on a certain day. So as long as I can stick to my AB program, I can pretty much lift any day without being too sore or over fatigued. I can lift 6 days in a week and still have enough recovery in there to handle my lifts, and then come back a week later, and if I only get to lift 3 times, I'm okay, or anywhere in between, even 2, as long as it's not 2 every week. So you're going to try to get as many lifts as you can in a certain amount of time because lives are busy. So you need to be able to get the workload in over 3 months instead of in that 3 months saying, oh, I had to miss 6 workouts. Well, now in that 3 months, I got to get them all even if they weren't perfectly spaced out, and I had the recovery in between to handle it. So like I said, it's going to run on a A-B split with A is upper and B is lower. It's pretty basic. You see that a lot. So let's dive into the more deeper aspects of it. So you divide your lifts into 3 different lifts. So you have your A-B lifts, and then each one of those lifts are going to be either volume, dynamic, or max effort. So each A lift has 3 lifts. Each B lift has 3 different lifts. So that's 3 separate days of workouts. So like even though it's an A-B setup, it should take you at least 2 weeks to get through a wave, and usually 3 weeks to get through a wave. The only way you're going to get it done in 2 weeks is if you're working out every day, which most people aren't. Okay, so it really helps with that. So we're going between volume, dynamic, and max effort. So your volume days are going to have much more volume, just like it sounds like. Those will be your 4 sets of 10, 5 sets of 5 on your core lifts, then a bunch of accessories afterwards. Longer rest times in there so you can replicate your straight sets that you need to replicate. Your dynamic effort days are going to be your 10 sets of 2 with 45 seconds rest, really getting that good speed work in, working on your explosiveness. And then your max effort days are going to be your heavy weights, you're maxing out with still long breaks in there. So that's really how that works. You're getting 3 different workouts for your A and B workout. So it makes it to where in order to get through an entire wave, it's usually going to be 3 weeks. And a lot of people will say it's a 3-week wave, but it's really a 3 workout wave that naturally is going to carry itself 3 to 4 weeks. So for each subcategory, you need to pick a particular movement that you want to progress on. So that's why, it's good to do this program. You get to do what you want to do. And as long as you're rotating your lifts, you're not going to run out of stuff to do. You can change your lifts by doing competition bench, close grip bench, bench press with chains, pause benching, which is what I consider competition bench, all of those things. So, you do all those lifts, but you have to also make sure that you're progressing on those lifts. So in your program, when you write it, you have to make sure that you're picking percentages and weights that you can progress on, because you don't want to just go balls to the wall the whole time and then you're going to stall out. I mean, you just can't progress. You always want to progress. You don't want to be at an RPE 10 all the time. That's not how you get gains. Things don't work well like that. So it's just important that you understand that when you plug in your lifts into this program. But that's the key, is you want to pick your movements and you want to progress those movements for 3 lifts. We rotate our lifts to avoid stalls. So that's why every 3rd lift, on that 4th lift, we're going to switch the exercise. So I keep giving examples on the bench press, and I can give you some examples on the squat. Let's say that I do 3 sets of 10 for volume day on squat, and I go 73 or 70%, 73%, 75%, whatever it is. And then the next wave I start, I'm going to rotate that lift. It's going to be a completely different lift and different percentages, different rep ranges, but it's still going to be volume. So it might be a 5x5 with chains on the squat. Does that make sense? So we're really just rotating the entire lift, but it's still going to be a high volume lift. And that's how you avoid stalls. So here's just another example right here that I have in. You can be a first volume wave, your bench 5x5, your basic 225, 230, 235. So that'd be 3 lifts. That's going to take you about 3 weeks after you get through your volume, your dynamic, and your max effort. And that's just volume. That's not your dynamic or max effort days. All right, and then down below it shows you like what your second wave could be. I mean, you're basically building your own program. You get to pick whatever you want as long as you're able to plug in the proper percentages and progress. So instinctive. So basically what that means is you get to pick what you do on how you feel. So I'm not telling you just to go in and bench every day. You need to do your 3-week waves how you write it. But your volume days could be overhead press as your main lift, and then have bench press, as an assistance movement. It doesn't always have to be bench press, bench press, bench press. As long as you're getting some sort of pressing in and some sort of rowing in, and you're getting the proper volume and resistance, then you're fine. You just got to make sure you're progressing on it and you're picking good big movements. And then pick variations of big movements. So maybe one week instead of doing bench press normal, you do bench press with close grip and chains. Or you do an incline bench press. Or you do overhead press with a pause, which is what you normally should do anyway. There's lots of different things you can do. If you have specialty bars, you can do a safety squat bar for a wave. Or you can do a Swiss bar on a bench press wave or an overhead press wave. There's endless things you can do. It all depends on the type of equipment you have. Also, with it being instinctive, you don't always have to go in the same order over and over again. I don't always go in the same order again. Sometimes I'll do a volume, dynamic, volume, and then do max effort. Or I might go volume, max effort, then dynamic. It's really how you feel. As long as you're getting them in that 3 to 4 weeks time, you're going to be okay. So that's kind of the key there. One of the last things that you definitely need to be cognizant of is you need to add your accessories to hit your weak points. So if your hamstrings are weak, which most people's are, including my own, you need to do a lot of glute ham raises, good mornings, things like that. You need to make sure you're doing your deadlifts, all of those things. But only you can know what those are. So you need to plug in your accessories. Now, I will say this about your accessories. It's not as important to progress on the accessories. Okay, yes, you want progression, but it's more important to make sure you're getting enough volume. So you need to take that in consideration. So some of your accessories might need to be on an RPE scale just because they're harder. So maybe like dumbbell rows or something, that can be an RPE scale. Maybe you can progress from a RPE 7, 8, 9 over your wave. You know, if you're going to do good mornings, try to do one wave of 3 sets of 10 at, you know, an RPE 9, and then up the weight and then do 5 sets of 5 at a heavier weight, still at an RPE of 9. So it's going to be a heavier weight. You just need to make sure you're doing your accessories to hit your weak points. You know, one thing you'll get a lot of is I want to do more bicep curls or cable crossovers. My thing is do as many of that as you want as long as it's not impeding your recovery. So if you're recovering, add in 4 more sets of curls or some more crossovers, whatever it is that you enjoy doing. It's your workout. But that also comes with being an advanced lifter or, you know, an intermediate lifter, even if you're smart. That's why I don't recommend these programs for novice lifters, and I don't believe that they should run them because you need to run basic programs. Even a lot of intermediates, or if you just don't understand the knowledge. You don't need to feel like you need to run something crazy. You need to run a tried and proven program. But with this program, it does let you, you know, be more free, let you add in what you want. So you can add as much stuff in as you want as long as you can recover. So if you can recover from 8 extra sets of arms on your volume day, then by all means, go for it. But be cognizant of your recovery and make sure you're not adding too much. You also need to know your maximal recoverable volumes and minimum and all of that. If you don't know what that stuff is, this program's probably not for you. But as long as you know those and you can recover from it, add whatever it is that you want to do. Alright, so the big picture. I did a 2-wave workout example in the description. It's in a Excel spreadsheet. You'll see it in the bottom. I gave a little key, so the way the progression is, they're in parentheses, so that'll help you kind of read it. So in the description, there's a nice example. You could write it in yourself. Other exercises, it kind of shows you. You can literally just fill in however you would want to do it, and you could make that for however many waves you want. But that alone right there is about 6 to 9 weeks of workouts in itself. And it's not actually like a prescribed workout to anyone. That's just, like I said, it's just an example. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. This is my first video doing these overlays and voiceovers like this. So I don't know how good it was. Hopefully it makes sense. Please leave some comments down below. If you didn't understand something, I'd be glad to help you out. I'm just glad I did this. This was fun. Hopefully I can do some more informative videos like this in the future. So I'll see y'all next time.